And I'm back. Welcome to Everybody Loves Juju12 Talks Hoops. I'm your host, Juju. I'm here to bring you a conversation around the AP poll top 25. Well, it's here. It's Monday morning. Let's get at it. So how y'all doing today? It was a lot of great games this weekend. I see some people that have moved up, some moved down, not much, but it's looking pretty good. I have no complaints with where everyone is landing, so to speak. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints. I'm a bit biased. I'm a USC Trojan fan, so I'm one that is keeping a close eye on USC and the Lady Trojans and Juju Watkins and the whole, West Coast. So I got 2 in the chat joining me. Please stay here. If this is your first time, hit that like button. If you're returning, hit that like button for me. If your first time, hit the subscribe button. I do this every Monday. I like to go talk to you guys, hear what your thoughts are on the rankings. I'm gonna wait a little bit, try to get some more people in. I can't wait to go over this with you guys because I see a team on here that has been a sleeper, and rightfully so, where they are in the rankings is going to surprise many, but apparently, they moved up considerably. I don't even remember them starting off at the bottom of the top 25. So to see where they are is like, wow. So I can't wait to talk about that. Just want to wait a little bit more for some more people to come in. I know I put it at 9:05, but I really, really want to see my gang here so we can talk about this. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And if I gotta go back for anybody who's missing, for those who might be missing, but let's talk about this, y'all. Okay, coming in at number 1 in this AP ranking today, December 16th, we have, of course, UCLA of the Big Ten. New to the Big Ten, they are 10-0, and yes, they remain in the top spot, 10-0. I suspect that they're going to be there for quite some time. I don't, and I do think though anybody can get got in this Big Ten conference, because I want to check out today how many Big Ten teams do we have and will we have moving forward in the AP top 25. But for now, it's UCLA. Coming in at number 2, for you Gamecock fans, you have moved up 1 spot, and South Carolina Gamecocks are 10-1. They moved up 1 spot, and they are number 2. Congratulations. Number 3, the upstart team that upset the USC and upset UConn are now back in the 3rd spot with a 9-2 record. Number 4, so UConn only dropped 2 spots. They are at the number 3 spot. No, excuse me, 4. Sorry. Notre Dame is 3. UConn is 4. LSU dropped 1 spot. They are now in the 5th spot with a 12-0 record. And next behind them are Texas, 10-1. What do you think about that? Texas is 10-1, and in the 7th spot, USC is 10-1. So, with that being said, USC is 10-1. We're 10-1. What does that tell you? What say you? What do y'all think about that? USC 7th, Texas 6th, same record. You know, I'm cool with it, except for we dropped 2 spots. So I kind of feel some kind of way, but I don't. I'm okay with it because this time, last season, we weren't even this high. And the 8th spot, Maryland, 10-0. They dropped 1 spot. What up, Bree Wayne? Yeah, come on, talk to me. I see you see the rankings. I saw you posted them in Discord, but let's talk about this. USC, we dropped to 10-1. Not sure why we dropped, but Texas, they have the same record. LSU dropped 1 spot. And that was all because UConn only dropped 2 spots. They're in the 4th spot. Notre Dame jumped up 5 spots. They are in the 3rd spot. South Carolina is in 2nd spot. UCLA number 1. Now, that's a tight thing in there between Texas, USC, and Maryland. Now, the only way, I mean, we're going to play Maryland in the Big Ten, but we really don't. I mean, it'll benefit them to beat us. To take the 7th spot, and then I'm not even concerned because Texas is going to be playing in the SEC, and we already know what's going to happen there. So what up, Bree? Why did we get dropped out? Like I said, probably strength of record, strength of teams we're playing. Seemed like they dropped folks to accommodate Notre Dame. To accommodate Notre Dame, yeah, Notre Dame. They jumped up 5 spots, which I was a little surprised with their 9-2 record. UConn's 9-1 record, but obviously because they beat UConn, they take that higher spot over UConn. And then LSU is like 12-0. Are you really gonna keep them? You know, what would you want to see? LSU move to 3 spot? Talk to me, because if LSU is 12-0, would they be in 3 and Notre Dame 4 and UConn 5? Would that be, because just imagine if you saw LSU in the 3rd spot and Notre Dame in the 4th spot, all based on the 12-0. I think that LSU hasn't played enough ranked teams. Notre Dame, credit to them, beat a 2nd-ranked team at the time when they won against UConn, and they beat a 3rd-ranked team, which is us. So rightfully so, put them in the 3rd spot. 1 loss to a ranked team, and they got dropped. Damn, Iowa State is out of top 25. Yeah, you ain't lying. Okay, so keep going. Number 9, Duke. Duke fought its way back up. I mean, I remember when they dropped considerably when they had that loss, and then they fought themselves right back up to number 9. Credit to Carl Lawson and the Duke squad. You're fine with LSU being in 4 or 5, but Notre Dame rising that high with 2 losses? Crazy work. It's crazy work, but think about this. If you were Notre Dame, put yourself in their shoes. You beat a 2nd-ranked team and a 3rd-ranked team. Wouldn't you think they should be in the 3rd spot above UConn and above USC? The only 2 teams underneath Notre Dame are UConn, LSU, Texas. So LSU has a 12-0. I don't think Notre Dame would probably feel like that they should be lower than them because of their strength of record, beating 2 top 2 and 3 teams. And then Texas, you haven't done anything. You haven't beaten any top 2 or 3, 4 or 5 teams. And then us. That's why it's really important to see what we do if we beat UConn. We should take the 4th spot. Then Maryland after us, Duke, Oklahoma. Ohio State remains in the 11th spot. Kansas, TCU, not bad, 10-1, 10-1. They lost to South Carolina, which was in the, at the time, top three or three, I think. Three. So they remain in 12th. Kansas State, 11-1. West Virginia, who would have thought, and Michigan State. West Virginia is 14. Michigan is 15. This is a sleeper, this Michigan State. So I know that we got to face in the Big Ten, Michigan State. Then Kentucky at 16. Look who I have here in the 17th spot. Looky who, Georgia Tech, 11-0. Jumped up 8 places, 8 spots. Because the last time I looked at Georgia Tech, they were 25. This is huge, y'all. They done moved up to Atlantic Coast Conference women, have raised up 8 spots to the 17th spot. That's incredible. And they raised up above Tennessee, who's right behind them at 18, and Tennessee just went up 1 spot. Next is North Carolina. They dropped 5 spots. Right behind North Carolina, Michigan, 9-1, Big Ten. Atlantic Coast team in the 21st spot, North Carolina State. Now, what do y'all think about that? You think North Carolina need to be in that 21st spot? North Carolina State. Behind them is Iowa. Iowa dropped 1. Nebraska. That's the team that was that the team that hit the 20 3-pointers? Well, they moved up 1. And my Cal Bears from the Bay Area broke and cracked the top 25. I know they're excited about that. They entered in. They sure did. Go Lulu. Coach Sharman broke the top 25 with the 24th spot, and in 25th spot, hanging on by a thread, by the chinny chin here, dropped 3 spots. Ole Miss. What is Ole Miss doing, y'all? What do y'all think about that? Any questions? If you didn't hear, UCLA remains in the top ranked team in the country, with South Carolina moving up 1 spot to number 2. Notre Dame moved up 5 spots. They believe that whoever the powers that be feel that they are the 3rd ranked team. They moved up 5 spots. UConn moved 2. They're in 4th. LSU, for whatever reason, they went down 1, but they're in the 5th spot. And they got Texas and they got us. What say you? What y'all think about that? Notre Dame's strength of schedule is a lot better, so I see your argument. And since UConn lost to a team with a strong schedule, the top 5 is where it should be. Okay. They went from, but here's the thing. UConn was a 2nd ranked team, and Notre Dame was like an 8th ranked team, and they only moved down 2 spots. And what about their schedule only allowed them to drop down 2 spots? I question that. They haven't played anybody they haven't played UCLA. UConn hasn't played South Carolina. They haven't played LSU. They haven't played Texas. They haven't played USC or Maryland or Duke. What made them only go down 2 spots? But losing to an 8th ranked team and then pushing Notre Dame to a 5th spot. That I don't know. If you're number 2, let's say South Carolina this week were to play Maryland, who's in the 8th, or Duke, who's in 9th. You only drop South Carolina 2 spots to 4th. And push up Notre Dame and UConn? Is that what you would do? That's what that means to me. Because Maryland is 10-0, and it's not like they got a bad record, and Duke is 9-2, and at the time, I think Notre Dame, when they played UConn, might have been like 8-2. because they had the 2 losses, or 7-2 maybe. So I'm talking AP poll. We know why UConn ain't dropped further than that in general. MJ said, Notre Dame is a top team. UConn wasn't going to drop 5 spots, and UConn is not Maryland. Okay, so, you know, I can't, I know who UConn is, and I know what their history is, but we're talking about this season. Who are they this season, MJ? It's not about who are they. It's about their strength of schedule right now this season. They're going to play some top team, but they hadn't yet. They played North Carolina, who was ranked 14th, and it was a very close game. But they played any other ranked teams. They were like at the bottom. So why wouldn't they drop to a Notre Dame who had 2 losses further than two spots? Blue bloods get undue respect. That's why UConn bias showing again. That's all I'm saying, Bree. It's bias. That's bias. That's bias because in the Big East, yes, they play us, but then after that, I'm sure they don't play anybody that's any of these top 5 or 6 or 7 teams. They won't even see these teams until tournament time. So they just get to hover around. That's not okay. Because the Big East, who do you have in the Big East, UConn, that's going to challenge you? But they will face you. They will face South Carolina in February. UConn is still a top 17. Top 7, but they're right now in 4th. They played 2 ranked teams, which is more than at least one top 5 team played thus far this season. More than the top 5, more than LSU. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, more than LSU. I don't know about Texas or us. I think we're going to be playing a top, which is good. Leave them there because if we win on Saturday, let's talk about this on Monday. Now, if you want to be moved by the AP voting, use the net ranking. It's mostly by numbers. Yeah, I think about the net rankings when it matters. Them being number 2 was a stretch to begin with, but it was pre-season based on nothing. I know it was a stretch for them to be in that number 2 spot. I didn't think they would be there. I didn't think they would be there long. I didn't think they would be there long, personally. Especially with poor AZ just suffering the way. I mean, she definitely needs AZ back and some players on her squad to step up and help her and Paige and Sarah Strong a lot. Them being number 2 was a stretch. Okay, yeah, that was a stretch for me too. I think more like 4th is fine. Maybe it's fine. We'll see. Because if we beat them, then they need to be dropped to 7, in my opinion. And Texas, I'm really surprised about in the 6th spot. And I'm still a little surprised at LSU, but I'm not worried about it because these 2 SEC teams, SEC is going to be crazy. There's going to be some crazy surprises. Tennessee is moved up 1. They're in the 18th spot. Let me see. Kentucky's 16. They're SEC. Let's see. Who else is SEC? We got Big 10, Big 12, Big 12, Big 12. Wow, look at Big 12. Big 10, SEC. Oklahoma, 10. Texas, SEC. Okay, so yeah, the SEC gonna be beating up on each other. And Mondo said the SEC has been earned bias for years. I'm contradicting myself a bit as I think through it. Okay. Otherwise, what are we talking about? Almost a matter of the start of the season until March. Yeah, everything's until March, but at the same time, psychological for psychological reasons, and it does mean something psychological just to test where you are and to look at and kind of gauge where you are in the season. I can't wait for conference play either, Bree Wayne. MJ, we getting closer to glory days. Um, all just white noise and banter right now. Mondo said LSU has Tex and SC next month, so it will get sorted out. Yes, it will get sorted out in January. Bree Wayne, thank goodness all of this speculation on mediocre teams is driving me crazy. It's so driving me crazy. It's so driving me crazy. Um, and people have like selective outrage for nothing over stat padding minutes and or somebody but you look at Notre Dame, and that's what I compare myself to, and Hannah and Olivia play way more minutes than Juju does. Has been in games, James Madison for one, and another team, I can't remember the name of the team. They're in with 30-point leads and 40-point leads at the last in the last minute making layups and shooting free throws. It's like you have that people just have those people, and we know who they are, have selective um, bias because they're afraid of losing control over a narrative about a record. They're going so hard about. I feel bad because if I was Caitlin, it's like you're going so hard about this record, and all I wanted was a national championship. I mean, to get to the national championship game twice and not win, no matter. I mean, that stings over any individual award. That stings because it's like you can't celebrate with your team, which is why you're playing a team sport. You want to win that championship. You want to bring something to the university that has never happened before, and cement your legacy. You may get a statue, but it wouldn't have been better just to have won a national championship with your teammates, and all the effort that you put on. I mean, to get there twice, it's like eating a delicious steak and you can't taste it. Conference play, we get to know who you agree. No ducking anybody's safe. Not even my Gamecocks got to bring the A game every day, right? You got to bring your A game. And again, like I told you guys, like you can lose, you could drop even in the conference play, and still go far because hey Gigi, that's my line. It's like, oh, it is. Yeah, it is. It's selective. It's selective outrage, really, because it's like you're complaining about something that a lot of teams, a lot of players have done, a lot of teams have done. You have no choice once you play. Um, when you're playing these inferior teams, you're I know that Lindsay has does go to her bench. Her backups are playing. I don't know much more what more you can do, but at the same time, if a player is trying to get their stats um to be their averages to be where they are, if they're below, you got to leave them in because you don't want them to leave the game um, below their average when they can obviously go get the points. That's all that's about. And that's what because every time you start your game, we used to write our goals down, what we want to score today, what how many assists does the team need from this person, how many rebounds do I need to get, how many defensive stops to steals or blocks do I need to get, whatever it is that you're working on, whatever your goal is. But more importantly, what is your average? You know what I mean? What is your shooting average? If you're below your shooting average and it's the third quarter and you're blowing the team out, give a damn. I'm gonna go get my average. Then I'm gonna sit down. And if somebody's going for a record, so be it. You're going for a record. Records are made to be broken. That's what they're there for. So with that being said, and then don't be selective and pick on one player when other players are doing the same thing across the country. You know, especially the player that you're who is now challenging you for Player of the Year. I'm going. Who plays more minutes than than my player? So yeah, I'm gonna leave her in the game. That's when you go get your 30. That's when you go get your 40 against a Elon or Cal Baptist or Seton Hall, whatever you want to say. Um, I think the Big Ten is strong enough for USC that she'll have enough games to get beat up on. I think same thing with SEC. LSU will be playing. I mean, we're going to be playing the number one team in the nation twice, hopefully 3 times for the SEC tournament, and then LSU. If you want to be second behind South Carolina in the SEC, you're gonna have to play. I hear you guys saying they only play once, but I'm sure they're playing Texas and they're playing Sleeper Tennessee. Don't sleep on Kenny Brooks and Kentucky. Let's see. Not sure who else in the SEC is in this top 25. You got Texas in the top 25. South Carolina, top 25. Kentucky, like I said. Tennessee. And Ole Miss. If they're there, if they remain there. So I think the rankings nature are okay. I mean, these are the teams that have been coming across, our radar that we talk about that we want to see. I don't know about that poor Ole Miss though. North Carolina State, they trying to push themselves back up. Alabama dropped out the rankings too. That's what Bree Wayne said. Like you see how tough teams like Michigan State and Michigan are for the Big Ten. So Juju will fight night in and night out. Thank you, Donovan. Like night in and night out. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shoot, West Virginia 5. Ohio State 6. Maryland 7. There are 8 teams in the top 25. Good grief. So she's fighting day, night in and night freaking out. That's why I would just like keep them in 7th. Leave them there. Let them get this. Maybe 4th. Maybe if they take on UConn, but the higher they are, the harder they fall. If you put them too high, and they're going into the Big Ten with so far 8 teams, including them 9, and in the top 25. Like you see how tough teams like Michigan State and Michigan are for the Big Ten. So Juju will fight in and night out. What's good, Juju? What's up, Panther fan? Hope all is well. My question of the subject: where will UConn place in the rankings since they lost against Notre Dame? They dropped 2. They only dropped 2 spots, so they're in the 4th spot, right behind Notre Dame. They're in the 4th spot, right behind Notre Dame. So Notre Dame, let's see how many teams they have in their conference that is coming up in the top 25. They got Duke to play. They got Georgia Tech, little upstart Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is in the 17th spot. They got North Carolina in the 19th spot to play in their conference. They got North Carolina State to play, and they got Cal Bears. And I think they got Florida State Tanai Latson. So, Notre Dame, they played Hannah 35 minutes just to get these wins. They played Hannah 35 minutes even if they are up ahead. So, and right now she doesn't look like she's slowing down, but she looks like she's in tremendous shape. But Olivia as well. So are they going to go undefeated in the ACC? That would be the question. Are they going to run out of gas by going undefeated? Will they drop to any of these teams? We'll see. Georgia Tech has been another slept-on team like they have been cooking. They have been cooking. Georgia Tech It's been cooking so hard. Let me tell you, they went up 8 spots because of that win. 8. That's the deepest I've seen this week. Somebody that, and then the next big leap was Notre Dame. They leaped up 5 spots. Georgia Tech leaped up 8 spots, y'all. Somebody's believing in them. They're at 17. Now, no, I said West Virginia was in the Big 10. Nobody corrected me. They're in the Big 12, and they're 10-1. So my bad. They're in the Big 12. So they'll go up against like Kansas State and who's above them in the 13th spot. TCU, who's in the 12th spot. No Big 12 anywhere near the top 7 spots. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. We got USC Trojans play UConn. I know you guys will be around. Come join me here Saturday. That'll be great. I know you all looking forward to seeing if we can knock Pace Bakers and UConn off their pedestal. And then I think we have a game on the 29th. And then right after that, for sure, conference play on January 1st. So right after New Year's, what a game that! Well, who does that? Who scheduled that? So yeah, but for sure by January 1st, conference play will begin. So yeah, have a very, very, very great day and week. I will not be on Set Talk Sports in the morning, but I'll return on Wednesday, and you'll see enough of me then. I'll be sick of me then by Wednesday because I got morning show, afternoon show, and I'm invited to join another show right after the morning show. So Wednesday's gonna be a big day, y'all. So yeah, that's it. Check out the APs. I heard what you guys are feeling. Thank you for your thoughts. Hit the like button. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button on your way out. I really, really appreciate it. Donovan said, hey, Breway, y'all remind me to put these your comments on my screen. I always forget to do that. Yeah, so let's have a great day today, and let's get back to watching Set Stock Sports shortly after that. I think there's a show coming up today. I'm sure there is, and some games. So talk to y'all later. Bye on.